right, it looks like we're live. Let me put up the comment section here. Yes, welcome. Well, we have Jim on board, and we have two, so I'm on board. Anyways, we want to welcome those of you that are community members, partners, and friends. We want to welcome you to 30 minutes of Your Solution for Gamblers Live, number 358. We're going to be here exactly 30 minutes. That's why I started at 7:30. It is a hot day, and I hope that wherever you are on the other side, you're cool. So welcome once again. We've got 30 minutes. This is broadcast number 358. We've got Coach Jim all the way from Tucson, Arizona. I am Coach Santos here in Stockton, California, founder of the SOSMC, Soldiers of Self-Mastery Community, since 2016. So we've got a proverb. We've got why the urge? Why the urge? Hoping we'll get a few comments here, a few questions from our studio audience. And in the meantime and in between, we're going to do our best to motivate you, motivate ourselves, and inspire you and inspire ourselves in the process. So welcome. Make sure you put your seatbelt on nice and tight. Strap it or tick it. No, is it click it or tick it? And turn down all distractions, please. This is an important 30 minutes for you, for us to seek solution and get traction. What do you say, Jim? We have let me see, MG08. Good evening, Coach Santos and Coach Jim. Good evening. Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, when we're talking about urges, why the urge? I think it goes back to feeling, It's like something's going on where we have a certain particular craving or feeling to either move towards something or get away from something. You know what? I mean, if we're trying to get away from pain, we want to go and feel better, right? So we have an urge to go ahead and have good feelings. Think about like hunger, right? I mean, there's an urge to eat, right? Why? Because we feel kind of in a negative situation where we're hungry, right?
Yeah.
And our focus starts going towards taking care of that feeling of hunger, right? So we look for the stuff, right, that will satisfy or take care of that negative feeling.
Oh, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a call for a minute.
we have to go out and realize, we have to deal with these feelings. Yeah, and we're talking about to an addiction, there's something that's triggering that. It's like maybe that we get some kind of benefit, right? There is some kind of benefit from scratching that itch. And I guess it all goes back to that feeling, right? Maybe it could be escape, right? When I escape my reality, I can go ahead and feel okay, right? I can feel better, right? Because I don't have to go and think about the pain. I don't have to think about my problems if I can go and escape to that place, right? So yeah. I mean, that I guess that's why people do drugs. That's why people, drink alcohol. It's that escape, right?
Or too much Red Bull every once in a while.
Red Bull, yeah.
Forgive me, Lord. I got to cut down again. It's hot. I love these cold drinks. But yeah, why the urge to continue? Why the urge to continue? Let me get into the proverb and then we'll break it down. Jim just brought up some good points. Once again, I think he was reading my notes. You got a special camera in my office, Jim? Reading my notes a little bit.
Yeah.
Proverbs 22, verse 5. Got to get that one out of the way. By the way, Coach Cephas will be with us next week. So once again, we're going to be here 30 minutes. Please ask a question. I'm really encouraging those of you that are watching by way of, it looks like we've got, oh boy, we're not on, let me see, we're not on Facebook, we're on Twitch and on YouTube. Okay, we got something there. Let me see if I can get this back on here. Okay. Anyhow, it's definitely not worth the urge. Let me see if we're on Facebook. Come on, Facebook. Yeah. Anyway, 30 minutes is going to go by very, very quick. I'm grateful to be here. I see we've got MG. We had a couple of visitors and they dropped off. This is too hot for them. It's too hot. I admit, you know, when you're wrapped up with gambling and it has you by the throat, it's hard to let it go because it's choking the life out of you. And if you don't see how it's choking the life out of you, again, you're going to continue the urge. And the urge is very, very destructive. The gambling urge, the addiction urge is very, very destructive. It can be very seductive. Well, it is seductive, but it is also very, what is it? Unseen. It is unseen. It is, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe Jim will have it. It's invisible. There we go. Invisible. The invisible things. All right. Thorns. This is Proverbs 22, verse 5 says, thorns and snares. Thorns and snares are in the way of the froward. He that doth keep his soul shall be far from them. Now, this is spiritual, a spiritual verse, but it can also be applied physically, right? Thorns and snares are in the way of the person that continues that urge that is destroying you to the maximum. Okay, that was Proverbs 22, verse 5. But why the urge? Let me throw out a couple of things here. Are you reinforcing small wins? Are you reinforcing small wins? Right? Small wins kind of gives you like a false hope. Man, I won $20. Or, you know, I bet 5 and I got $20 or 25. Small wins. In between those, you're going to have the large losses or big losses. So small wins. Are you bored? Why do you continue the urge? Are you bored? Jim talked about. Did you speak about this earlier? Escapism and distraction. Are you seeking distractions? Escapism. What are you trying to escape from? What is it that you're trying to distract? Are you seeking social interaction? Is that why you continue the urge? You're seeking social interaction? Or are you seeking financial gain? Are you seeking financial gain? Let's get into it, Jim. We've got some visitors here, and share your thought. Let me see. MG says that's the truth. I was addicted to gambling. I was addicted to gambling and marijuana. So was I. Horribly. This channel has helped me tremendously become free. How has it helped you, MG08? Please explain. Educate me. Inspire me. I'm going to look for your answer there. How has this channel helped? In what way? And then the sad truth is not many people want to become free. It's easy to keep feeding the addiction. Yeah. All right. I'm going to wait for an answer. I'm going to wait for a response because I would like to know how, if you let us know how this channel has helped you one way, two ways, we can improve on that. We can improve on that. Go ahead, Jim, with your thoughts.
Yeah, when I think about people using addiction, to I guess medicate themselves with particular problems, I think everyone wants to feel good, feel at peace. I think that's one of my goals, to have peace of mind. But that can be confused with the comfort zone, you see. And the comfort zone,
Yeah.
which feels good, momentarily, is actually kind of destructive because you don't grow. And there's a paradox in finding peace or finding comfort. You actually have to go through a lot of hard work. You have to go through a lot of challenges. You have to push yourself. You have to strain and struggle in order to get to that genuine peaceful place. And that doesn't feel good. The pain, the work, the strain, the stress that you put yourself through action, right, towards like a meaningful goal. What do you really want? I don't think people ask themselves, what do they really want in life? What would make them happy to that good peaceful place?
They think about it.
Think about it, right?
Because we all do. But you're speaking about taking that thought to another level instead of just kind of daydreaming a little bit.
Right. I mean, writing it down and actually seeing, it's like I see a lot of mountains I need to go and climb within myself. There's a lot of stuff that I have to overcome with myself in order to go and reach those goals. And sometimes I guess that just seems overwhelming. It's like, how the heck am I going to go ahead and climb that mountain? How am I going to overcome that? That's just too difficult. And I think that's where learning really is important. Finding a way. How can I find a way to become stronger, to go and climb my personal mountains? And I think that's where it is. I remember watching that Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens, on TV, and the Ghosts of Christmas Present showed like two children underneath his robe, and they were really downtrodden. One of them was ignorance. One of those children was ignorance. And when we stay in ignorance, when we don't learn, we're going to go out and just be in the valley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and it goes worse to worse.
Right. So how can we find a way to improve ourselves, to get to where we want to be? It could be financial, it could be gamble free, right? It could be, better relationships. I want to be at peace with my family. I want to go out and be at peace. Well, how do I go and do that? And that's where like coaches, that's where counselors, that's where reading, that's where learning really takes place. I understand that learning is important. Also doing is important. We got to go and take that action. And it's painful, right? We could stumble, right? And we can have doubt. I think that's the problem, And I was thinking about, a phrase yesterday, that was encouraging. It's like, everything works out for the best. Everything works out for the best. So if I go ahead and take some action, focused on where I want to go ahead and go, and I take action and I go ahead and use that mantra, everything will work out for the best. Even though it seems like things are messing up, you go ahead and say, you know what? I have faith that everything is going to go and work out for the best if I keep on trying. And I'm going to be looking for the good in the things that I do and the things that happen. On the surface, it could look very negative, but, if I have that mindset, it can go and help me move forward, because I think that's the problem. We just go ahead and get just beat up. We beat ourselves down, I guess you can say, and not, I guess being persistent with what we want. And I guess it's all about self-improvement. We got to go ahead and keep working towards self-improvement, because that's how we go and climb those mountains to get to where we want to be. And that's the paradox, right? It's like, the challenge, you go ahead and the adversity is the solution. Adversity.
Yeah. Yeah, adversity within the problem there is hope and your solution. Some people are looking outside. They're looking for something outside instead of really looking at the problem itself. You talked about comfort. Comfort can be very self-deceptive. We can actually deceive our brain, or the brain will deceive us into moving into a comfort zone that is dangerous. Yet the comfort zone that we truly want is the one that's going to give us peace, tranquility, and prosperity. And instead, we settle for the comfort zone that's leading us into the abyss. The abyss. So, yeah, it is a struggle for most gamblers. Most, and by the way, thank you, MG, for sharing this. I want to bring this up real quick before I bring up. I was very confused to why I was so addicted, and then I learned from you guys. Okay, you learned something from us, from our podcast, from the videos, how to gain some control, self control, and what was triggering you, uh, and you working on by eliminating that variable. Well, that's a good thing. I'm still not sure. I'm kind of confused a little bit here on how you're putting it together, but it sounds like being within this community has inspired you. That's basically what I'm hearing. Being within, spending time here has inspired you to take a better look at yourself, at your situation. Again, comfort can come, it can put you in two scenarios. It can put you in a self comfort of bad, and if you work on comfort, right, leading yourself into comfort, you want to be comfortable where there is tranquility and peace and prosperity. That's a good comfort. But settling, as I believe Jim was talking about this earlier, settling in that comfort zone that has you by the throat is a total deception. By the way, gambling is a big fat lie. If you hear anything on this 30-minute broad, we've got about 20, I don't know, we've got about another 17 minutes or so, 18 minutes. Gambling is a big fat lie. And so is the addiction that goes along with it. It's all a big fat lie. Do you believe that? Go ahead, Jim. So we've got MG here. I started by getting away from who and what was making me seek that rush from gambling. And I hope that you're gaining strength moment by moment, day by day. That is something to brag about, right? That is definitely something to brag about. And of course, we can be here to support, we can be here to inspire, but ultimately, it is a choice that you make. It's something that comes from within you, within your strength. We just add a little bit of icing on the cake. That's what we're here for. We're all candles, right? And when a candle that burns really has a good wick, you can light other candles, and you don't lose your flame. Candle, you've seen it, right, Jim? We've all seen it. We've taken a candle and we've lit three or four other candles with that same candle. Yet, as long as you keep that candle in the right position and you don't have any wind or rain on it, that flame continues to burn. It continues to burn. Go ahead, Jim. Share your thought, and if there's any other questions in here, again, Facebook, you're live with us. YouTube, you're live with us. We see a few visitors. And Twitch, feel free. This is our community. This is your community. I tell you, there's no better place to get proper direction than the SOSMC, Soldiers of Self Mastery Community. Give us your thought there, Jim.
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm focused on is the activity of fasting. And I've done it before, and I'm going to go ahead and work on doing it again. Not eating anything. Uh, I feel it's kind of symbolic of, kind of cleansing the mind and the body. It incorporates some discipline, and it kind of sets it as an anchor to of doing things that are positive. I mean, there's some pain that goes along, or
Yeah.
discomfort that goes along with fasting, not eating.
No pain, no gain. There has to be
Right,
some pain. Yeah.
right, right. I mean, there's some weakness. There's some there's some desire to eat. You know, but it's like oftentimes we get away with just satisfying our urges so easily. Like oh, I'm hungry. I'm just going to go and stuff myself with a pizza. Go to a fast food place, eat a bunch of spaghetti, whatever, and it's like, oh, it's so easy to go and do that, you know but there is some good in being disciplined to say, you know what, I'm going to go and control that. I'm going to go ahead and be the boss of that urge, and I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to go and stop that, and I'm going to go ahead and put myself in a position where I'm more disciplined. you know I feel my urges, but I'm going to say, the mindset is, I had this mindset. There was times when I was just sick after eating, just bent over sick, and I remember those times, and I think to myself, you know what? Remember that? Would you have eaten that time? No way. I feel a lot better when I don't eat at those times. I remember my uncle who suffers from diabetes. My dad suffered from diabetes.
Yeah.
And they said, I feel much better when I don't eat. I feel much better when I don't eat. And I've fasted before, and it's like when you get to a certain point, you know, you feel okay. You feel
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And
There is.
there's a connection. It's like, wow, I'm
There's
in
a
control.
euphoria. There's
Yeah,
a euphoria in fasting.
I'm
Yeah.
in control. I'm in control. And when you have that feeling of being in control with that particular physical activity of fasting over your body, it's like, wow, I can do this. I can do other things too. I can do other things. What else
Yeah.
can I do? So I
What?
mean, that's
There,
something.
there's a lot of things that we can do. Again, you have to be able to ask yourself the right questions also. Most of the time we're asking the wrong questions, and that leads the wrong question leads you to the wrong answer, and it also can discourage you from practicing more questions. The better that you get at asking questions, the better that you get at asking questions, and that provides you better solutions. I read this earlier. Let me, why do you have the urge to gamble? Why is it? Because you're reinforcing small wins? Is that the reason? Are you bored? Are you bored? Are you looking for thrill and excitement? You know where the true thrill and excitement is. The true thrill and excitement is in winning over yourself, showing yourself what you're truly made out of. I used to work out very heavily. I used to push a lot of weight. And then for a while there, I stopped because, as you get older, it's not the same anymore. Well, I've gone through physical training and coaches and et cetera, et cetera. And they tell me, you gotta push yourself. You gotta push yourself. But man, in my mind, I'm thinking, what do you mean push myself, man? I'm already hurting. And when I started realizing that you have to push past the pain, you don't want to hurt yourself. You have to be very careful. Discipline. Jim uses that word a lot, right? Discipline. You find that when you push past the pain, you find pleasure. And it also brings about other changes. I noticed I used to love eating a lot of sugary stuff. I don't really care for sugary stuff anymore. Every once in a while, I'll eat a Snickers bar or something, but I don't feast on. I used to take a whole package of chocolate chip cookies with a glass of milk, or peanut butter, um, peanut butter, the peanut butter cookies, or the little the cakes that have the chocolate with the little white stripe, and it has the white cream filling. And I would just indulge in all of those things, and all. I don't do that anymore. It's very rare when I eat something sweet. I'm constantly seeking protein. Whether it's eggs, whether it's beef, chicken, cottage cheese, milk. Maybe sometimes I overdo it. But I noticed that when I've been pushing myself with the physical exercises, I attract the good things into my life. I attract the good things. And for the gambler, if you're not asking yourself the right questions, you're bringing wrong answers into your life. And you're going to have to pass. You're going to have to pass through the pain because you're avoiding it. And that's why you go back. You go back, you fall, and then you beat yourself up. Right? Jim said that earlier. You beat yourself down. Actually, if you're going to beat yourself, you should beat yourself up. Beat yourself up, not down. Don't beat yourself down because you may not be able to get up from there. But if you beat yourself up, tell yourself you're going to do this. Ask yourself the right questions. Create a journal and begin to push, and recognize that gambling is a big fat lie. I love saying that. Just because you motivated me here, MGO8, gambling is a big fat lie. I love saying that because it is the truth. Any addiction that's got you by the throat is a big fat lie. May not be readily, easily to just escape it. Yet, there again, you may not know the real true power within yourself until you really press yourself. And you find out what you're truly made out of. That's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. All right, Jim, we've got a few more minutes left of this broadcast, and we see a few people have come to visit. We're going to be ending here roughly in about 4 to 5 minutes. MG08, thank you for hanging out with us. And those of you that are watching, I call you the invisible man or the invisible woman. You're hiding, you're behind the scenes for whatever reason. Maybe you just don't want to be. I hope that you're getting something. I truly believe that you can get something out of this broadcast, out of this community. So I'm going to invite you to subscribe to this channel. If you're not subscribed, I'm going to highly recommend that you subscribe to this channel and make sure that you turn your notifications to all so that whenever we go live or we put up a new video, you'll get first dibs on that. Share. Give me a like. Help me. Help us support other people around the world. This isn't about me, folks. It's not about me, and it's not about Jim, right? Where we are where we need to be at this point, yet we know there's more. There's another level that we're trying to reach. And once we get to that level, there's another level that we will go after. You on the other side that have not reached the first level in your life where you become completely, totally free, you're not prospering, and you lack peace. That's what I'm recommending. Share, leave a comment, and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you for doing that because, again, it helps the community expand. And YouTube sees that and says, hey, this guy's doing a decent job. Let's give him some kudos. So I need your support. And by the way, those of you that are watching, those of you that are making honorable decisions, you motivate me. You inspire me, just like Jim does. Jim inspires me. Remember the first time he came on the broadcast, then he came the second time, the third time. Jim, I want you to know that you inspired me.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm a positive inspiration.
I do my best to pass it on, right? If you're inspired, that's what you do. You pass it on. You can't really hold on to inspiration. You got to give that out. It has to come out of you. So I want to thank those of you that have been. And if you can donate $1, $5, or whatever you can do, it all goes towards the mission. It all goes towards the mission. Hi, Laura. So go ahead. I've got a call to action here in about a minute or two. Jim, share your thoughts, and we're going to close the broadcast for today.
Yes,
Hope you're doing well, Laura. Hope you're doing well, along with Mark.
yes,
Go ahead.
thank you very much. You're an inspiration to me, and I tell you, countless people who are struggling. I mean, just think about it. Worldwide, you talk about worldwide, getting the message out, lighting the candle, passing out the message. You know that there is hope. For the addict, the struggling gambler. There is a way out of it, right? I think one of the problems that we all face is that we all want certainty in life. Certainty. We desire certainty. If I'm going to do A, I want B to happen, right? If I want certainty, and I have to realize myself that what, there are no certainties, and I have to accept it. The way I get better is to understand that there are no certainties. I take action. Things might not go the way I want sometimes, but there's a refinement in my improvement in life. If I continue to take action, I learn from what happened, I take action. I learn from what happened, I take action. Okay, things didn't work out. Well, let me go out and see what happened. Let me go and keep going. Let me keep pushing forward, right? And I think that's where, God and faith comes in, right? Having that faith, having that mindset that, what, everything is going to work out for the best if I keep taking action, if I keep on learning, if I keep on planning, if I keep on doing action, right? Right? In spite of, what happens, in spite of what happens. That's how we get better. That's how we go ahead and get that peace. Eventually we will be there. This world is all about, instant pleasure, instant gratification, instant results. And we're all brainwashed, unfortunately, that this is the way, it has to happen. If it doesn't, then, there's no hope. Forget it. Don't even think about doing what is good for you. Just go back to your addiction. You know, that's not that's the message that we don't want to go ahead and spread. We want to go ahead and spread the message of faith, doing what you need to do, and constantly doing what you need to do. Right? Don't give up, right? Don't give up.
Exactly. Don't give up. All right, we've come to the end of our broadcast, number 358. I definitely want to thank you, those of you that were participants here that spent a few minutes or more than 15 or 20 minutes, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Let me close with this real quick, and then I'm going to give you a call to action. This community, SOSMC, Soldiers of Self-Mastery Community, is the right place for your first step. Application will only help when you truly desire peace, prosperity, and total freedom. I'm going to read that again. Application will only help when you truly desire peace, prosperity, and total freedom. Nothing to fear because the truth is near. No gimmicks here, just solutions to make the gambling problem disappear. My call to action is tonight, before you go to bed, before you lay your head down or after this broadcast, write yourself out a poem, a short little poem, 4 words or 4 sentences, 5 sentences. Make it a personal poem for your inner self. And then let that get in you like food. Start eating it. With that said, I don't have any more to say. I want to thank those of you that spent 30 minutes or so with us, about 35 minutes with us. So we're going to be back here on Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific, possibly 7:30. That'll be a little bit of a longer version. Sunday, so that's 7:30 or so Pacific Standard Time. With that said, will I see you at the top? Peace through strength, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Until my next one, thank you, Jim, for hanging out.
Thanks, Santos. You have a great week. I'll see you on Sunday.
With 359.
3:59. Take care. Stay cool.
Why is it?